My name is Rachel Wadham, and I'm going to discuss the work I did in IPT 560 and 564 this semester. For these courses this semester, I developed an online module that was designed to support the library research unit in a general education writing course at Brigham Young University. We needed to add some blended elements to this instruction. The purpose of this was to allow us to have time to cover some topics, namely synthesis and evaluation, that we just can't cover in the in-person sessions. For this course, our learner audience is elementary education majors. This course is designed for just elementary education majors, so the majority of people we have in it are going to be teachers someday. We also have mostly juniors and seniors in this course, since this is a general education course that's required at that level. And lastly, the majority of our course students are young and female, because that is the makeup of our elementary education majors at Brigham Young University. Additionally, we also have a number of stakeholders. Of course, we have our university expectations, because this is a general education requirement. They have to meet a certain level of expectation in the course. And then we also have our course expectation that are universal for all of these advanced writing courses that are taught by the English department. Additionally, we also have our course instructors, who are the ones that are actually executing and grading in these courses. They are the ones that design the full scope of the course. And then lastly, we have our library instruction coordinator and the librarian, who are the individuals that come into the library research unit as part of this course and help design and give the instruction for this particular aspect of the course. In this course, we found that our learners really are overwhelmed by this project. A lot of them haven't had a lot of experience writing research papers, and particularly writing big research papers that are like this. They're worried about their grades, and they're worried about how they're going to actually do this project. We find that the learners are equally worried about the research aspects of this process as well as the writing aspects of this process. So they're worried about finding articles and finding the things they need, but then they're also equally worried about being able to write the paper and put everything together. So for this particular part of the course, we decided that we were going to focus on the aspects of synthesis and evaluation that combine these research aspects and these writing aspects, and help our students focus more on how they can organize and actually write one of these papers. So to do that, we developed 3 learning outcomes. First, we wanted our students to choose from a set of research articles the ones they were actually going to use. And then we wanted them to identify the useful evidence in these articles and then organize that evidence into a comprehensive argument for their paper. We found that this really supported the stakeholders' view of the problem, because they really wanted a paper that is well argued and synthesized. They want to see authoritative sources that are well integrated and used in the paper. So these 3 learning outcomes help us solve that problem and ultimately come to helping our students be guided in creating a really well-structured and organized research paper. So let's take a look at a little bit of what we did for this project. First, we started out making it in Captivate, which is an online program. To do this, we developed different steps of the process and used this kind of as our beta prototype. One of the things that we really wanted to do with this whole project is have examples for the students. And I think that that's one of the choices that we made that was really important, where our students could explore different elements and see different examples and different structures that they might be able to use. We hope that this allow our students to find different elements of a structure that we might want to then use in their paper. For this prototype, we evaluated it with different individuals, and we did find that there were some things that we included in this particular element that we didn't think we needed to ultimately include.
Please explore all the options before moving on.
So for example, this section of genre, audience, purpose, and stance, we ultimately didn't include in our final version because we found that this was not information that our students really needed. We then developed a second prototype where we went into storyline and developed a more in-depth version of this. We developed it into 4 steps. The previous version only had 3 steps, and we helped our students really look at this in a very contextual way. We wanted our students to be able to see examples and then actually have some practical application for what they were learning. So we think that this was a really great strategic reason that we made these choices, because we really wanted our students to have this application. As we did this, some of the constraints that we had were the fact that the software itself was constraining, particularly Captivate had some constraints that were tricky. We also had some constraints with storyline that made it a little tricky to apply what we wanted to do. We also had some personal constraints. We had to address different expectations of the course, as well as my own personal capabilities as a designer are still growing and developing. So we had to address some of those elements. But in the end, we found that it really was a good outcome. Both of our learners and our experts found that it was great in meeting our learning goals. They found that it was a great way to have them explore the different elements. And particularly our experts found that it was a great way to have the application, to have the examples and to have the options where students could actually apply what they were learning was really very beneficial and important for our students. So I found that this really met my highest ideals as a designer. I am really proud with the products that we've created, and I think that they have developed and become something more sophisticated over time as I've gone through the processes of developing ideas and then prototyping them and evaluating them. We look forward to taking these prototypes these finalized prototypes that we have now, and using them actually in the full course in this next semester, and continuing it to develop them and see them in further refined and developed. If you'd like to see the full courses and explore everything that I've done this semester, please check out my portfolio website, which is at rachelwadham.com.